Hi there, and welcome to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where we are going to be looking at the last lesson in Chapter 4, Modeling Systems of Inequalities. As you saw in Lesson 5, systems of linear inequalities have infinitely many solutions. Remember that shaded area? That shaded area went on forever and ever and ever. So, since that shaded area goes on forever, there's infinitely many numbers that are a solution to a system of inequalities. Think of it like how many numbers are greater than 5? There's an infinite number of numbers greater than 5. And that's what an inequality is. It's saying, is it greater than or is it less than? And there's always going to be an infinite number of solutions that are greater than or less than a single value. So compare that to a system of equations that oftentimes only have one solution. So that one solution is the point of intersection, if there is a point of intersection on a system of equations. So a major component of Algebra 1 is being able to model a system, whether it be equations or inequalities. And today we're going to examine real-life scenarios where systems of inequalities are useful. So let's take a look at exercise number 1 in this video, where it says the swim team is fundraising for a new diving board. The local bagel store agrees to donate bagels and juice. The swim team will sell the bagels for $1.50 each and the juice for $2 each. So since they're being donated by the bagel store, they're making a profit of $1.50 for each bagel and $2 for each juice. The bagel store will donate a maximum of 500 items, and the team must raise at least $800. So let's get right into this with the information we know. Well, first thing I want to do is I want to group all of my units together. I've got dollar signs here, and dollar signs here. So I want to put all of these in one inequality. So I want to represent my bagels with a nice letter B. So we'll do $1.50B because it doesn't tell us what variables we have to use, so we're free to choose whichever ones we want. Plus, they're going to be selling that juice for $2 for each juice. We'll represent with J. And we're going to have at least $800. So at least is the very least it can be is $800 for this diving board, but they could raise more than that amount or equal to that amount. So at least is greater than or equal to 800. There's our first inequality. Now, the bagel store is going to donate a maximum of 500 items. So they'll donate no more than 500. They'll donate up to 500, but the combination of items they're donating is going to be less than or equal to 500. Now, what items are those? Well, that's going to be bagels, and that's going to be juices. So we have bagels plus juice is going to be less than 500 total items. So now we have a system of linear inequalities here, and let's see what the next part tells us to do. The swim team sells 350 cartons of juice. We know the value of J now. What is the least number of bagels that must be sold to be able to raise enough money to purchase the diving board? So we want to know, based on this equation, since we're talking about money and this is our money inequality, so based on this inequality, let's substitute 350 in for J. So we're going to have $1.50B plus 2 times J, which we now know is 350, is greater than or equal to 800. We go ahead and solve this. We have $1.50B plus 700 is greater than or equal to 800. Let's go ahead and subtract 700 from both sides. And we will have 150B is greater than or equal to 100. Our final step over here is going to be to divide both sides by $1.50. And we're going to have a solution of B is greater than or equal to 66.6 repeating. So the number of bagels sold has to be greater than or equal to 66 2/3 of a bagel. But you can't sell 2/3 of a bagel. So what you're going to have to do is look for the first reasonable answer that is greater than or equal to 66.6. And the first reasonable answer that's greater than or equal to 66.6 is going to be 67 bagels. So that's going to be the least number of bagels that must be sold to raise $800, given that we already know they sold 350 cartons of juice. So if this video helped you out in setting up a system of inequalities and then solving, given a small piece of information, give this video a thumbs up and go on to exercise number 2 now, where we're going to deal with graphing a real-life system of inequalities.